Imagine a society where technology advances rapidly, yet freedom recedes just as quickly. A world where our every move, every thought is monitored, catalogued, and analyzed, where privacy is a relic of the past. It sounds like the plot of a dystopian novel, but this isn't fiction. This is the digital surveillance state, a concept first imagined decades ago, and now closer to reality than we might want to admit. But this isn't just about governments tracking your online activity or corporations collecting your data to sell you products. It's about control and the subtle ways that surveillance shapes how we think, act, and even live our lives. Over 2,500 years ago, Aristotle warned about rulers using similar tactics to maintain their grip on power, long before digital technology even existed. So why should we care about Aristotle's ideas on surveillance today? Because the ancient Greek philosopher's insights into power and control offer a framework for understanding the dangers of a world where surveillance and technology intertwine. His analysis helps us see the bigger picture, how rulers use tools of control to shape society and individuals alike, even in systems that claim to be free. Let's explore how the ancient ideas of one of history's greatest thinkers apply to one of our most pressing modern issues, the rise of the digital surveillance state. Aristotle on surveillance. Aristotle may not have had smartphones, the internet, or AI-driven algorithms to worry about, but his concept of how rulers maintain control through observation remains startlingly relevant. In his work, Politics, Aristotle detailed how tyrants would use spies and informants to keep tabs on their people. But more importantly, he showed how surveillance wasn't just about gathering information. It was about creating an environment where people live in fear of being watched. For Aristotle, the essence of tyranny was not simply about overt oppression. It was about shaping how people behaved when they thought they were under constant scrutiny. This led to self-censorship, a breakdown in trust between individuals, and an erosion of freedom from within. Modern parallels today, surveillance doesn't require a network of human informants. Our every action can be tracked digitally. Social media profiles, search histories, location data, and even biometric information. These all serve as modern tools of surveillance. But the effects are strikingly similar to what Aristotle described. When we know we're being watched, we change our behavior. We become more cautious, less willing to speak out, and more concerned about how we're perceived. Just as ancient tyrants used spies to control their subjects, modern governments and corporations use digital surveillance to shape our actions. Algorithms, artificial intelligence, and big data have become the new tools of control. By tracking our habits and preferences, those in power can influence what we see, how we feel, and what we believe. And while this might not look like the brutal tyrannies of Aristotle's time, the consequences are just as profound. Tactics of control. Aristotle recognized that tyrants maintained control by fostering distrust among the population, encouraging division, and making it difficult for people to organize against them. In the digital age, this tactic takes on a new form. Social media platforms designed to engage and entertain can also divide us, feeding us content that reinforces existing biases and amplifies social divisions. By controlling the flow of information, those in power can keep society fragmented, preventing any unified resistance. The more divided we are, the easier it is to control us. Aristotle would likely see this as a new version of the same old strategy: divide and conquer, but now with algorithms doing the work. The role of technology. But what would Aristotle say about the role of technology itself? In his time, rulers used physical structures and institutions, walls, courts, armies, to assert control. Today, technology serves that function. It creates invisible walls that surround us, confining our freedom without us even realizing it. Social credit systems, mass surveillance cameras, and facial recognition technology aren't just tools of convenience or security. they're tools of power. Aristotle would likely argue that these tools, in the hands of the wrong leaders, turn governance into tyranny. Instead of serving the public good, they serve to consolidate power. When rulers, whether they are governments or corporations, use technology to observe and influence their subjects, they blur the lines between leadership and domination. Erosion of freedom. One of the most insidious effects of surveillance is how it erodes individual freedom. Aristotle warned that in a tyrannical system, people stop trusting one another, stop engaging in open debate, and lose the ability to act freely. Modern surveillance accelerates this process. When we know that our online activity is being tracked, our phones are listening, and our faces are being scanned, it's natural to self-censor, to stop engaging in risky behavior, and to retreat from public life. The irony is that we often give up these freedoms willingly in exchange for convenience, security, or entertainment. But Aristotle would remind us that this kind of trade-off rarely ends well. Once a tyrant, or in our case a digital surveillance system, gains control, it rarely lets go. The downfall of the digital tyrant, but there's hope. Aristotle also noted that tyrannies are inherently unstable. Because they generate distrust and resentment among the population, they eventually collapse. Could the same be true of the digital surveillance state? Perhaps. As awareness of the dangers of surveillance grows, there's potential for pushback. We see this today in movements advocating for digital privacy rights, calls for regulation of big tech, and demands for greater transparency in how our data is used. While surveillance may seem all-powerful, it's possible that we, as a society, can find ways to resist, to reclaim our freedoms, and to ensure that technology serves the public good, not just those in power. As we conclude this exploration of Aristotle's insights on surveillance, I want to know, do you see parallels between ancient tyranny and today's digital world? Was Aristotle accurate in his findings? If so, how precise? What concerns you most about the rise of modern surveillance? Would you change the course you feel humanity is on? If so, how? Share your thoughts in the comments below. It'd be great to hear your insight on what we've discussed in this video. Hope you enjoyed the video. A like and subscription would be much appreciated. Please share it if you feel it's worth it and or anyone you know would like it. Thank you for watching.